Welcome back to the Wealth Fact. I'm your host, Green Moon, and today we're diving into something that goes far beyond the latest financial trend or stock pick. This is bigger than just another investment hack. We're talking about the quiet force that's building the future of wealth, trust, and ownership, and also a topic that changed my life and my interest. In 1440, Gutenberg finishes his invention, the printing press. At first, no one pays much attention to him. The clerics are afraid, the scholars call it dangerous, and the elites try to suppress it. But we know what happened. It changed everything. It changed the future. The printing press decentralized knowledge, broke the monopoly on the church and the state over information. The printing press decentralized knowledge, broke the monopoly the church and state had over information, and empowered the common person with literacy, autonomy, and access. Now fast forward to 2009, a mysterious figure named Satoshi Nakamoto introduces something similar, a technology that promises trust, value, and ownership, and it's similar to what the printing press did to knowledge, and it's called blockchain. Just like back then, many people didn't fully understand it yet, or they were dismissing of it. Today we're going to break down blockchain and look how it's reshaping everything. Let's fill your pocket. You've heard the buzzwords, you've seen the headlines, but what is blockchain in reality? At its core, a blockchain is just a ledger. Think about the old ledgers that the older generations would have used in their businesses. Debits on one side and credits on the other. But here's where it gets interesting. This ledger is digital, public, and immutable. Imagine a notebook where millions of people are watching it at the same time. Every transaction, every entry is visible. And once you write it down, it's permanent. No erasing and no changing it. And why does this matter? Well, because trust is the foundation of everything, whether it be business, currency, or even democracy itself. For far too long, we've outsourced our financial trust to banks, government, and institutions. But what happens when those institutions, banks, betray that trust? What if they inflate currencies, lose our data, or manipulate markets? That's where blockchain comes in. It's not about asking for trust. It's about showing to you with math. Every great movement begins with a moment of disconnect. For the American Revolution, it was no taxation without representation. And for blockchain, it started in 2008. Banks were failing, the housing market was collapsing, governments were bailing out billionaires, while everyday people lost everything. In the midst of all that chaos, a quiet protest emerged. On January 3rd, 2009, Satoshi Nakamoto mined the first Bitcoin block, the Genesis block. Embedded in the code was a message. The time is January 3rd, 2009, Chancellor on the brink of second bailout for banks. That wasn't just a timestamp. It was a declaration. Bitcoin wasn't just a currency. It was a rebellion against corruption. It was a tool for financial independence and a new system where code, not humans in suits, would rule. Bitcoin is not blockchain. Bitcoin is not blockchain, but it was the first major application of blockchain. If Bitcoin was just the beginning, then what's next? If a tool could give power back to the people, would you ignore it or would you study it? Because the real magic of blockchain isn't just about currency. It's about decentralizing control, ownership, and value. Think about it in your life. You store your photos on someone else's server, mainly Google. You socialize through someone else's networks, Meta. You pay through someone else's system, Visa, MasterCard. You rent homes through someone else's app, like Airbnb. You stream music through someone else's platform, like Spotify and Apple Music. In each of these cases, you're just a user, and someone else is the owner. Now imagine a world where you can control your data. You own your identity. You get paid for your content, your time, and your attention. That's the Web3 vision. And blockchain is the engine that powers it. It's not about getting rich off of meme coins. It's about building a new, fairer internet, one that's peer-to-peer and more transparent. And here's something that might sound complex, but is actually pretty simple. Smart contracts. A smart contract is a piece of code that executes itself automatically when certain conditions are met. Think of it like a vending machine. You put $1.50 and you press B2. You get a Snickers. There's no negotiation, no middleman, just logic. Smart contracts are doing the same for their agreements and deals. Want to rent out your apartment without using Airbnb? A smart contract. Want to raise funds for a project without a bank loan? A smart contract. Want to automate royalty payments for a song you wrote? Smart contracts. Blockchain's trustless trust is already making waves in decentralized finance, or DeFi, where people are lending, borrowing, and trading all without banks. And it's not just an idea, it's already happening now. And of course, blockchain has its critiques. Some blockchains consume a lot of energy, and scammers are still a very big problem in the community. But just like the early days of the internet, regulation is on the horizon, and that's okay, as long as it protects users without stifling innovation. But let's not confuse the misuse of a tool with the failure of the tool itself. So what does this mean for you? One of the skills for the next decade is going to be blockchain literacy. You don't need to be a developer to understand it, but you need to know how decentralization works, how value is being redefined, and why owning digital assets might just be as crucial as owning physical real estate. You don't need to buy or hold crypto to believe in blockchain, just like you didn't have to buy Amazon stock in the early 2000s to believe in the internet. But you need to think critically, act intentionally, and stay informed, because the shift isn't slowing down. At its core, blockchain isn't just about the technology, it's a philosophy. The philosophy of trustlessness. Trust is fragile in the old world. It's based on relationships, brands, and reputations, all subject to human error, manipulation, and biases. But blockchain replaces trust with trust, enforced by math and code, not people. Blockchain follows an ethic: don't trust, verify. And this shift isn't just financial, it's moral. If we build systems where trust is baked in, we can reduce corruption before it even starts. It's not perfect, but it's better than blind faith in a broken, old system. In today's digital world, your identity is more valuable than ever. But right now, your data is being mined, monetized, and manipulated without your consent. Blockchain offers the possibility of a self-sovereign identity, where you own your identity, you own your data, you own your credentials, and you own your reputation. Imagine logging into apps without passwords, proving your education or medical records instantly and securely, or donating to a cause where tracking every dollar goes is normal. Blockchain enables this. Many people think blockchain is about getting rich. Blockchain isn't just about wealth. It's about redefining how and who gets rich. In the old economy, the top 1% control the system, but in the blockchain economy, it's open source, replaces closed doors, micro ownership replaces monopolies, value flows peer-to-peer without permission. You can own fractional real estate, a piece of a song, or a slice of a startup, all without Wall Street. Creators get paid directly, no middleman, no app stores taking cuts. This is a creator-first, user-owned economy, and it's about participation. And blockchain has been dubbed the Great Equalizer for over 1.4 billion people who are unbanked, not because they're lazy, but because the system has no place for them. But now they can participate in the global economy with just a smartphone and a wallet. And it's not just for the poor. The wealthy are using blockchains for estate planning, private equity, and more. Blockchain scales down to the underserved while still providing great benefits to the elites. Blockchain doesn't care about your net worth, job, or education. It only cares that your wallet is connected, your key is valid, and your transaction is true. And that provides real opportunity for everyone across the world. And to close things off with something that's rarely discussed in blockchain conversations is legacy. In Greek mythology, societies grew great when old men planted trees whose shade they'll never sit in. And blockchain is one of those trees. We may not see all the benefits in our lifetime, but future generations will. They'll live in a world where value moves instantly and true. Blockchain isn't a trend. It's a tool, a philosophy, and a movement. You can use it to make money, but it's also about making meaning, participating in the change, and building the future of the financial world. Thanks for listening. Until next time.